So it's recording.
All right. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, man.
Doing well? All right. And so first question, why did you major in cybersecurity?
Yes, great question. When I graduated from Kennesaw with my bachelor's in marketing, it was during the pandemic. And even though I had an internship and I was looking to get into sports marketing, the market for it just wasn't the best. And so I'm a type of person who pivots quickly. And I would say the following year, I just had enough and I was looking to pursue something different. And I saw that Kennesaw had a program for their cybersecurity master's program. And for myself, I was already a person who was already into technology, you know, looking to hack systems. So I found it intriguing. And once I kind of enrolled and started taking the classes, I knew that this was the lane for me. And that's how I got started.
Yes, sir. That's a great response. And what made you interested in the industry?
I mean, just to be honest, at the time doing a career pivot, I was trying to see what the job market outlook was going to be, and cybersecurity was a growing field. It had more job stability for me, and of course, it aligned with some of the interests that I do. So that's why I chose to go into it.
So the job market just had more potential in cybersecurity in a way.
Let's see, this was about 2021 when I went into it, so it wasn't as like trendy as it is now, but I saw I'm a analytics guy, so I look at, what jobs are going to be available, and if I were to pursue a master's degree, what would give me the best bang for my buck, and what will align with my interests and stuff that I'm kind of currently doing. So that's what made it a good fit.
Got you. In what moment in your life did you know that this was the major for you?
Um, Great question. I would say as I so one thing about me, I'm not the biggest school person, but for some
I
reason,
definitely agree.
yeah, for some reason, so I got a 3.0 in my marketing uh program, and this
Right.
program I took it way more seriously, and I graduated with a 3.9, and I've
Right.
never got over a 3.5 GPA in all of my school. And when I saw that I was like taking it seriously and the work was fun, and um, when I got to my capstone projects, that's when I realized that this was the major for me. When I kind of started diving into those projects, because I like to take on those roles and work with teams, and we had did a few policy documents, and our cloud class was pretty interesting. So I just found the cybersecurity very interesting at that time, and like I said, getting that 3.9 GPA just was letting me know I'm on the right track.
Got you. Sounds good. And how many years of experience do you have in your major?
Currently 3.
3?
Yes.
Okay. And what advice would you give to young adults who are interested in the major like me?
Yes, one of the biggest mistakes that I did when I graduated, well, let me start here first. I thought just getting my degree was going to like, oh, I'm getting my degree, I'm gonna have jobs lined up for me. That was far from the case. I didn't have any certifications, I didn't specialize in any tools, I didn't network with anybody. So my biggest advice is you have to I it what I do now, I wrote a book, and so in that book I kind of lay out the 4-step framework that you need to get into cybersecurity. And the main thing is you want to specialize in one specific area of cybersecurity. I was trying to be the jack of all trades, cybersecurity analyst. They do everything, but once I specialize in like information security, that's when I started to find my lane in it. So you want to find your niche. Um, of course, you want to get education, which is what you're doing. You need to get the certification specific to that lane. So, for instance, I said I like to do information security. You'll research information security analyst jobs, and you'll see what their preferred qualifications are. You'll see Security Plus, CISM. Those are the certifications that you need to get. You don't need to get CompTIA A plus or Network Plus because it's not relevant. So, not falling for all of the certification trends. You need to get certification specific to the job that you're trying to get into. And lastly, outside the certifications, you need to learn the tools that the job is asking you for. So, for instance, information security, you'll work with a lot of probably data loss prevention systems, um, your vulnerability management systems, just whatever that specific role is asking for. You just want to make sure that you practice in that.
Got you. And that was all in the book. What was your book called? I'm interested.
Yes, it's called Cybersecurity Masterclass. Something like this. A lot of students ask me questions to how to get into cybersecurity, and as someone who kind of struggled their first year, I kind of packaged up, my journey and packaged up cybersecurity at like a broke it down into a readable and understandable level because it's a lot of technical terms and some game on getting your social profiles, resumes, cover letters, etc., and package that up into a book. And that's what I'm currently working on right now.
Got you. I definitely commend you for that. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are usually kind of like more on the more selfish side when it comes to giving out game for the younger people and everything. So I definitely.
That's really why I got into teaching. Outside of the education part, I found a calling to mentor uh, professionals getting into the field because I am a younger professional. So that's really why I chose cybersecurity in the first place, as far as teaching. So yeah, that's my calling at the moment.
Got you. And what what characteristics outside of the job would you consider most important for this major of work?
Soft skills. I mean, in school, a lot of students don't like group projects. You're going to be working in a team in cybersecurity. So you need to know how to have great communication. You need to know how to present well, because let's say they ask you to present technical stuff to non-technical audiences. You need to know how to break that stuff down. You need to know how to write. You know, you can't use AI to write for you because it's not human like. So you need to know
Right.
how to, they might ask you to write a whole policy from scratch. You need to know how to do that using the company's missions, objectives, and what they are about, and write it yourself. Um, of course, you need to know how to have technical skills, but that's going to come specific to the tools and platforms that you use. Continuous learner, being a fast learner, they're going to put you on the spot at work and not baby you. They'll show you stuff one or two times and they expect you to get it. And just being able to adapt. When you get into a job, when you start, it's not going to be like that over the course of time. So just being able to be like that, adaptability.
Right. All right. And what characteristics like what characteristics outside of the job would you least consider important for this field of work?
It's a great question. Least important. Hmm. Um, Man, I just answered this question for another student. Least important, I would say, again, trying to be a jack of all trades. Like, you want to specialize in a specific area. You don't want to try to do everything within cybersecurity. You just want to make sure that you focus on, be good at one area, right? So I would say that, it's a lot of terms to know. Don't feel like you have to know every term. Know the terms for your niche. So yeah, that's the least important thing, just trying to know everything.
Would there be anything like, like personal traits, like if you're shy or anything like that, or a little, like a little timid, do you feel like those aren't really important for the?
Everybody has their own personality, but again,
Huh?
you want to be confident because in cybersecurity, people are relying on you to have judgments, right? So
Mhm.
you're the authority. If you have a vulnerability in the system, you need to stand on it. If you're writing the policies, you need to make sure that you can stand on what you wrote. If you're
Yeah,
shy, let's say you have to lead a security awareness training. If you're timid and shy, why should the employees trust what you are saying? You're a cybersecurity expert. So, being confident and, outgoing, I would say outgoing, you don't have to, outgoing is a least trait. You don't have to be an outgoing person, but you just want to make sure that you're confident in what you're saying.
of course. I do. So that's more of that's kind of more on the more important sides, like the more confidence and just I definitely agree with you, you know.
Yeah, to be honest, in my last contract position, when I was a security analyst, it was boring. Like, not to say the job was boring, but it's repetitive. The people that I work with, they don't have the biggest standout personalities. They just doing their jobs. Some of them are shy, but they're confident in the stuff that they're reporting and saying. So that's a major thing.
And what are you working right now?
I still work at Chattahoochee Tech. I just had a side second job as a security
Like,
analyst.
okay. And can you tell me about the real problems or issues or challenges that are going on in the profession right now?
Yes. For me, it's just AI. I think it's I I believe that it is doing, I won't say harm, but for instance, once they fully implement it, you're going to see that they might not need you for a job. Like, if they can have a technical AI system, why do they need you to report on, these vulnerabilities that's in the system? If it can write the policy for the company, why do they need you? um like I told you earlier, people aren't doing the work themselves. They're just using AI to come up with their ideas and stuff like that. So,
Of
me
course.
personally, I feel like the reliance on it is, people aren't using it for good. And once businesses start to implement it fully, it could lead to less jobs because it's going to be a situation where humans work with the AI to get stuff done. And that's going to lead to less open roles. And that's just me. That's just how I personally feel.
Mhm. And do you think that cybersecurity may trend downward because of that? Because of AI?
No, like I said, you still need a human to verify stuff, but they're going to work alongside the AI. So
Mhm.
instead of having a lot of security analysts at the job, you might just have a few, but they work alongside the AI to, still verify everything. So, as the technology advances, you're just going to have a few humans working alongside it to get the work done instead of you having a full team.
Okay. That yeah, I see what you're saying. And how did you overcome these problems or issues? Like how did you overcome AI and or do you kind of have to work along with it as well?
I work with it. It's here. You can't overcome it. So you
Yeah,
have to understand how to properly use it, if that makes sense.
yeah. And how do you use it in your field?
I do the hard work up front. Like, I don't ask it to do the task for me. So, for
Mhm.
instance, when I'm writing my book, I'm going to do all of the hard work up front, research, put my information in. I'm going to do a voice to text, like I'm teaching someone, and I'll just ask AI to take what I just did and just format it. And then I still have to go back in and make sure that all of the information is present and it sounds like me. But I'm doing the research, I'm going in books, I'm doing articles, I'm taking information that I know, putting it in a Word document, and I'll just have AI do the little easy tasks and just, get it in a formatted structure so I can upload it to my book.
Yeah, of course. And
But
one of
that's
my
just an
teachers Oh, I'm so sorry. What were you about to say?
But that's just an example. Like for instance, if you're using it for your homework, me personally, I hate when a student just takes what it generated and submits it because one, that's lazy, and two, you didn't do the work. So if you are researching information and you are using AI as a final, tool to help you just format it or just combine the research that you did and put it in a structured manner, and then you go back in there and touch it up yourself, then that's a helpful tool. But if you just ask it to answer the question for you and you just upload that, now that's where I have the problem.
Yeah, and one of my teachers actually said he thinks like AI isn't that bad of a tool if you use it in the way that you were saying as well. Like, that is kind of what people do now. People might just hurry up, take a picture of the work, put it into the AI and it just wipes it all the way down, but I definitely do agree with you on that. Like I feel like it can be helpful, but I think you still need that human touch to your work for it to be, I think, like viable.
Yes, sir.
And what advice do you give to college students about the writing workplace?
The writing workplace,
Yes.
as far as like writing in the workplace.
Yes, writing in the workplace. Yes, sir.
um I mean, from my experience, you have to have uh, a good overview of your company. You need to know its mission, its vision, their objectives, um, the department that you're in. You need to know what it's about. You need to work with cross-functional teams, and that way, when you're writing, it all ties back into the business, and it all ties back into the business and the units. So, for instance, if I'm writing a password policy, you need to know the tools that the company uses for implementing password resets or multi-factor authentication. What is their policy on passwords? What's the length? How often they have to change it? If somebody's account was compromised, what are the steps to, get it back up and running? But it all ties back into that specific business because every business has their own way of going about that. So when you're writing the policy, you need to know as much about the business and the units as possible, and how you want to enforce that within your writing.
And how did you like what about writing your book as well? Can you tell me a little about that? Like how did the writing kind of go into doing your book for you? Well, you writing your book?
Yeah, very good question. When I first started it, I never wrote a book before, so I'm in the process of doing a second edition because of I came across a software that helps me like format it better. At first, I just kind of did everything in Canva. And while it's still a good book, I felt like I wanted to do more in-depth research and format it in a presentable way. So my process for that is, again, doing all the hard research up front, taking what I know, taking sources that correspond to the information that I know, and it's going to be raw. You put it in a Word document, it's going to be raw. You highlight important terms, you provide visuals to enforce someone's learning, and then, like I said, I would take all of that information, put it in an AI, and just have it formatted to KDP is Amazon's distributing center, and that's how books get distributed. So I wanted to make sure it's formatted for a book, and that's how I do it. And so you outline your chapters, you do your objectives, what you want the reader to know about this chapter, and I do my research. I do voice to text, and then whatever I do, I take that document and just get it structured.
Yes, sir. And now I feel like these the good questions right here. These ones came from me. So, did you have any doubts about your major? Like when you were going in, did you have any doubts about it? Like anything that got you down? Like you were like, dang, like how do I really know this is for me? Like how do I stay consistent with this?
Yeah, for sure. I would say as I was entering my last semester, at my master's program, I was working at Square as a customer service rep. And like I said, I didn't have any certifications. I'm applying to jobs. I have my master's in my resume. So I'm assuming I'm just going to get on. And you start to see all those rejections come through the email, no interviews. And so that definitely was a eye opener. And so again, I'm not the type of person just to sit around. So I started to network within Square, and I started to get shadow opportunities. I was able to shadow the department, and I started to build a portfolio of what I was doing on a daily basis, and I can start to put that stuff on my resume. Now I have technical experience, and that started to get me at least some interviews, and that led me to come into Chattahoochee Tech as an instructor.
Got you. Dang. So that rejection, like how did that make you, like was that like giving you most of the doubts? Was it anything else as well?
It's just a rejection. I still, you still go through that because, for instance, might be applying to second jobs, and you just start to get those rejections. But just rejections, and again, you have a certain perspective. I'm assuming, once you get your bachelor's degree, you have an idea of that. Hey, I want a nice paying job in X, Y, and Z. That's how I felt, and I thought me going into cybersecurity and getting my master's in this high demand field that it's gonna have all these interviews lined up, and I was gonna make six figures, and it just didn't turn out like that. And so, you know, now I have to start paying money for certifications, and we know those are not cheap. Studying for certifications, not passing them on the first attempt. I just paid $750 for a certification, and I didn't pass. So, you got to pay that fee again and take the test. So, all of that stuff can bring you down.
Yeah. But I feel like it does make you want it more. Like it does make you go harder in a way as well because just like I feel like you said you're paying the money. Like I think that's definitely some motivation to where it would make you definitely say, yeah, I have to pass this time. Like it's no failing this time.
Exactly, and you're going to go through that. So yes, like I said, those things that bring you down make you want to go harder.
Yeah, of course. And what's one misconception everyone has about cybersecurity?
Again, that is just so easy to get into. There's a lot of jobs available. You're competing against a lot of people. And
Yeah.
even people that have top-notch resumes, it's hard for them to get in cybersecurity. So the misconception is, like I told you earlier, you're gonna have people saying you need this certification, you need to do this. Those are all misconceptions. Why would you take a certification for a job that's not applicable to it? You're just wasting money, time, and effort at that point. So I would just say it's a lot of trends of people's opinions on how to get into cybersecurity, and it's just not relevant. So again, it's just a lot of different opinions about cybersecurity and how to get into it. And I would just try to stay away from stuff like that from people who haven't actually been through the struggle of getting cybersecurity like myself.
So basically, like people kind of with unnecessary experience, kind of that doesn't apply to the jobs. That's kind of like what people would want you to do.
Exactly. Yeah, you have all these different opinions on how I got into cybersecurity or what to do to get into cybersecurity, and it's all personal opinion. Um, it's not the actual steps for you to take because you might be on a different path. So let me ask you a question. You're in your program. What are you finding interesting in cybersecurity? Do you know what you want to do?
Right now, I wouldn't be too sure on what I want to do, but what I find the most interesting, I really like coding right now. I like using Python right now. I feel like it's interesting. It was kind of a battle for me at first, kind of getting into all of the how Python is. It was kind of hard for me, but I did overcome, I had to put in a lot of work myself instead of like watching the teacher. I would watch the teacher as well, and his online, but I feel like I had to put in the more work myself, but it became kind of fun to me. I don't know. Like I enjoyed it.
So again, take what you just said, and let's just say you just saw me across the internet, and I'm like, hey, to get into cybersecurity, you need security plus. You know how to write policies, you need to be good at teamwork. That doesn't necessarily apply to you because you want to do coding. So I would tell you, hey man, go on a site called Try Hack Me or Hack the Box and take their Python course and start to build up a portfolio of things that you do in Python to showcase to an employer. And
Oh,
start to find jobs that utilize Python, for instance, and start to get a certification for what they're asking for in that job. And that's how you get into cybersecurity. Not the general opinion of how to get into cybersecurity.
yeah. And thank you for that as well. Like, because I think people will try to mislead you a lot though, like how you said. And I don't know, I think everybody has like their path, and you really shouldn't really take into account like what other people do on their road to, because they might not even, they might your niche may not align with theirs as well. So I think that is pretty good advice.
Yeah, no problem.
And that would be all for the interview. That was my last question about the misconceptions, and I do thank you. I do thank you, Mr. Evans. I really do appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, no problem. Let me just double check. So I had it recording. I haven't done this in a long time, but I guess once I end the recording, I can go in and download the MP4 and I can get it over to you via email.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that as well.
No problem. While we're on this, you have any additional questions?
Uh, Let me think. No, but I will. If I do, I will shoot an email over to you if you well, I do appreciate you. I will shoot you an email if I do have any questions for some advice.
Sounds good, man. Keep up the good work and just reach out.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.